Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos. Today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more latest news now. This is regarding a bit more transfer rumours now. This is regarding Alex Sandro now from Juventus. Now the press are reporting now that Manchester United have reportedly joined the race with Chelsea to go on and try and sign Alex Sandro from Juventus, the current left back. Because obviously Jose Mourinho is still currently trying to address that left hand side. He's still in search for the creative winner. He's still in search, for another left back, as we all know that Blind has hardly played in the Premier League this season. We have the option to put a 1 year extension on his current contract. And it did say, Blind fears his career could be over the other week, in the summer as well. He has played in the European games, but he's hardly played in the Premier League this season under Jose Mourinho, even though he plays defensive mid, a centre back and a full back. We know we've got Luke Shaw there, who's hardly played, and we know he played in the Champions League. And Jose Mourinho, has promised Luke Shaw, more chances in the Manchester United team after his fantastic performance in the Champions League midweek as well, which is very, very good. And I think Danny Rose, potentially is a favourite player, on to go and replace Luke Shaw. And then we've got Ashley Young now, without a doubt, who's potentially been our best left back. As we all know, he's been absolutely phenomenal this season. We also have the option to put a 1 year extension on his current contract as well. And Matteo Darmian hasn't played much in the Premier League this season. Basically, we could lose quite a few players. And the board did say to Jose Mourinho, we have to sell before we can buy. And Ed Woodward's had discussions with Jose Mourinho, about the transfer plans. And I think he's going to be getting around 80, 90 million pounds to spend in January's Mourinho. But Jose Mourinho's got potentially quite a lot of targets, on his radar. And what's been mentioned is Alex Sandro. Reportedly, it's now emerged as a #1 January transfer target, to strengthen up the left back position. But we know with Alex Sandro, he's a very, very good player. He's good on the ball. He's a very, very good, strong tackler. He contributes to his game very, very well. I think this is his third season now with Juventus, is Alex Sandro's. But we know Chelsea have been heavily linked with him as well, because Chelsea, Conte clearly wasn't satisfied with their lack of investment in the window. He still wants, certain areas to be. Conte still wants certain areas, to be strengthened up and add character. He wants to strengthen the left-hand side. He wants someone to partner up with Alvaro Morata, in the front line. And he also wants someone in his midfield as well. He wants to address that midfield a bit more. Does Conte as well. But Alex Sandro's been heavily linked with Chelsea. But Alex Sandro has admitted that he's not satisfied with Juventus. He wants to leave Juventus. Does Alex Sandro reportedly? He says he's not happy there. In his first 2 seasons, he won the domestic double with Juventus as well. Chelsea basically, obviously I've had Marco Alonso this season, especially this season, the majority of the time playing on the left-hand side. But Alex Sandro's a very, very good player indeed. I think Juventus have tried offering him a new deal. He has turned this deal down. But reportedly Chelsea were preparing to pay a club record fee for him back in the August window. Chelsea had approached Juventus, had negotiations. Chelsea were prepared to pay up to £60 million. I think Chelsea had 2 bids turned down. I think Chelsea also were willing to, double his wages he's receiving now at Juventus back in August as well. But Juventus were reluctant and where he's actually resisted, to offload Alex Sandro, because as I said, Juventus have got quite a lot of good players in their squad, even though they've lost quite a few key players over the last couple of years. Lost Arturo Vidal, they lost Paul Pogba to us. We paid £89 million for him, a club record fee for them. They lost Berucci, they lost Dani Alves, and this is maybe why, Juventus didn't want to offload Alex Sandro, but Juventus are linked to quite a few players themselves as well. They've been mostly heavily linked with Emre Can of Juventus as well, and actually Del Pereiro, who spent nearly 20 years with Juventus, has basically come out and said that Emre Can would be a good additional signing, for Juventus, because we know Juventus have been heavily linked with Emre Can. But he, in the process, I think if he's to sign a new deal with Liverpool, he's been demanding a release clause and a higher wage increase. Reported Liverpool, have not been demanding what Emre Can has been demanding. Well, Liverpool are not prepared to meet what Emre Can's being demanding, because Emre Can's made around nearly around 150 appearances now since he's been at Liverpool. This is 4 seasons, but Liverpool may now have to cash in for the player in January, rather than let him go on a 3 in the summer. But Juventus have been heavily linked to him. He risen up the ranks fantastically well with Bayern Munich. He was majority of the time in the reserve team, and then he went to Bayer Leverkusen. And Liverpool just nearly paid £10 million for him. Now this is 4th season, but very, very good for Germany. He's Emre Can, as I said. He plays defensive mid, he plays a left back, he plays a centre back, as I said. And it did come out the other week in the press that Juventus had been in talks to Liverpool. Juventus had approached Emre Can's representatives, and it also basically said that Emre Can had agreed personal terms to actually join Juventus as well. But obviously Liverpool may want to keep him because he's still on the central play to their team. But as I said, if he isn't going to sign a new deal, Liverpool may have to cash in for him in January, rather than let him go on the 3 in the summer. But that's been Juventus' main target, as we all know. But yeah, talking about Alex Sandro, he's a very, very good player, good strong tackler, contribution very, very good, his work rate, his effort, and he would dramatically improve Manchester United at that left-back position as well. But reportedly Manchester United have entered the race with Chelsea to go on and sign Alex Sandro, and I think Juventus do rate him at around £50 million. He's also an ex-Porto player, he's also an ex-Las Santos player. With Porto, he had 4 fantastic years there. With Porto, he used to play actually alongside Danilo, at Porto as well. Did Alex Sandro, but very, very good player indeed is Alex Sandro. And potentially, Man United have looked at quite a few left backs as well. But basically, as I'm saying, talking about Luke Shaw as well, as I said, Jose Mourinho now has given him more first team. He's going to promise him more first team matches in our squad, due to his fantastic performance, in the Champions League. We know Luke Shaw's been heavily linked to a move away from Manchester United, the lack of game time he's been getting. He hasn't played in the Premier League yet this season, only played twice in the Carabao Cup this season and in the Champions League the other night as well. Man United paid £29 million for him from Southampton, made his England senior debut in 2014, and he risen up the ranks fantastically well with Southampton, but he is Premier League proven. But since he's come to Manchester United, he has had a difficult time as Luke Shaw as well. Only played 32 times in the Premier League. He's still 4th, 5th choice left back, under Jose Mourinho, and he's still only a young player. But potentially, this scenario could have changed, now due to Luke Shaw's fantastic performance, on Wednesday. Could actually change Jose Mourinho's mind, and could actually change Jose Mourinho's mind. But potentially Danny Rose is still one of them favourable players to replace Luke Shaw if Luke Shaw is to leave Old Trafford in January. We know that there's been talks about Luke Shaw, and Danny Rose as a potential swap deal as well. It did say Man United were prepared to put £40 million in plus offer Luke Shaw so we can go on and get Danny Rose. It did say Tottenham are willing to actually, offload Danny Rose for £45 million in January. It did say Jose Mourinho, was actually were prepared to pay up to £50 million for Danny Rose as well in the January window. Obviously, Tottenham lost Kyle Walker, during the August window as well. But talking Danny Rose is a very, very good player. He has admitted as well he has no issue with Pochettino, but he did criticise the club back in August due to lack of investment in the August window, due to the wages he was receiving. He's currently earning around about £65,000 a week. He's Danny Rose at Tottenham Hotspur as well, but he did criticise the club, but apologies have been made. Pochettino had accepted the apologies, back in the August window. But he did say, Danny Rose, he wasn't happy with his manager, because he hasn't played much, since coming back from his 9 or 10 month injury. So he had a long spell out. And Ben Davies has been mostly, filling Danny Rose's spot in that Tottenham squad. So a young player that wants first team football week in, week out. And it seems that can offering better wages out there, such as Manchester United, but he's still under contract with Tottenham to 2021. He's still young. He has been at Tottenham now for 10 years as Danny Rose, but he's potentially the favoured player, basically, to actually replace Luke Shaw. And that if Luke Shaw, is to actually leave the club. But Danny Rose, I do really like him. He also began his career with Leeds as well. His tackling instinct scored. His defensive distribution is very, very good. He's made over a century appearances now. but potentially he could replace Luke Shaw if Luke Shaw is to go. Luke Shaw's also, there's been talks about him going back to Southampton, but Southampton, I think, have to offload Ryan Bertrand, before he possibly goes back to Southampton. It mentioned quite a few weeks ago Arsenal and Chelsea had been interested in him as well. But it could be a change of scenery now. Luke Shaw could end up staying. We do have the option to put a Kivit one-year extension on his contract, further 12 months, which will take him under contract with United until 2019, Luke Shaw. But when he gets some run of games, Luke Shaw on that left, he can really, really perform. But Jose Mourinho did give him a lot of criticism last season, but you'll be thankful with Luke Shaw that Jose Mourinho praised him, on Wednesday, as he also praised Lukaku at the same time in him praising Luke Shaw. He said Lukaku works hard for the team, which he does, and establishes himself well in the team. And this is what Jose Mourinho had said in his pre-match press conference on Wednesday night as well. And it's also basically said also in the press, another potential. We know that Jose Mourinho basically as well is still looking to address our midfield a bit more as well. And reportedly, it's said in the press, Leon Goretzka, he's come out in the press for the last couple of days at least that Jose Mourinho and Manchester United have been interested in him. But it's also mentioned that Bayern Munich have been interested in him, Barcelona have been interested in him. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, I think mentioned Juventus had been interested in him, Arsenal, Liverpool have been interested in him as well, because he did say, Jose Mourinho wants the board, to go on and sign Leon Goretzka, from Schalke, he can play defensive mid, he can play on each wing as well, can Leon Goretzka, and reportedly, Man United, he said Jose Mourinho was identifying him, maybe as a suitable replacement for Fellaini. He also had Milkovic Savic on his radar as well. But reportedly now we could face a huge blow in our pursuit of Leon Goretzka. Due to that, reportedly, the press are reporting now Arsenal reportedly are closing in on a deal on a free transfer for Leon Goretzka in the summer. But reportedly, Leon Goretzka has just recently suffered a kind of an injury with Schalke. I think he suffered like a leg problem or something like that. He has suffered an injury, so he may not be sold in January, and he may leave on a free transfer in the summer if Schalke can't sign him a new deal. Schalke do want to tie him down and sign him a new deal with Schalke. But I think Leon Goretzka does actually want to go, as he said he wants, to face a new challenge. He did say he'd make a decision on his Schalke future in January. I think also the director of Schalke wants Leon Goretzka to stay as well. But I don't know if there's been any negotiations, between any club or the players' representatives. But saying about Leon Goretzka, very, very good indeed. He's made over century appearances now for Schalke as well as a player. He's a fantastic young age prospect, and he's very, very good for Germany. I think he's only, 22, 23 years of age, is Leon Goretzka. He's without doubt, a very, very good player. He's without doubt a very, very good player. He's Leon Goretzka. I think he dramatically improved the Manchester United team's work rate score. He's established himself well. He's very, very skillful. Very, very good player. He's Leon Goretzka. And, Schalke paid only about £3 million for him. He's joint top scorer of the Confederations Cup, raising up the Schalke youth system very, very well. Leon Goretzka, and Schalke did lose Klasnich during the summer to Arsenal, on a free transfer, and they wouldn't want to lose Leon Goretzka, especially, to Arsenal, as well, because under Schalke, he's still an essential player to them. Also, an ex-Bochum player as well is Leon Goretzka, as we all currently know. But, we will see what happens, but he's been heavily linked to a move to Manchester United as well. And also we know Arsenal obviously are identifying replacements for Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez, but potentially, Mesut Ozil's still another potential, Manchester United target, as we all currently know, and we know he's also been heavily linked to a move to Barcelona, and I think Barcelona, are using him as an alternative, in case they do fail with the pursuit of Coutinho, because obviously that's Barcelona's main priority target. Barca have been interested in him since August. But yeah, Ozil's been heavily into a move to Manchester United, and obviously Arsenal are identifying players for Mesut Ozil and Sanchez, looking for someone to replace Sanchez on that left hand side, looking for someone to replace Ozil in that midfield, and they could then if they get Leon Goretzka, that would be a suitable replacement for Arsenal, as well. But saying in the press, Manchester United have heard bad news also about Mesut Ozil. Reportedly, as I did tell you yesterday on one of my videos, that reportedly it did say Mesut Ozil is close. Reportedly, well, it's just allegedly. Reportedly, there's been more contract talks. There's been no negotiations between Ozil's representatives and Arsenal Football Club. And reportedly, it did say now there's been more contract talks further down the line. And reportedly, it did say that Arsenal are close to agreeing Mesut Ozil a new deal with Arsenal Football Club. So there has been rumours saying, it's also leaked on social media that Mesut Ozil wants to stay at Arsenal, and he's close. He also said he could still sign a new deal with Arsenal. And it did say he's close to signing a new deal with Arsenal, as Mesut Ozil's agent had confirmed quite a while back that the contract talks were going in the right direction between the club and the player and his representatives. So it looks very good for Arsenal. And this, this might now put Arsenal fans into a bit of a frenzy. The latest news I've heard that allegedly, Ozil, there's been more contract talks, and now Ozil could sign a new deal with Arsenal. Man United, we're planning actually, to get him on a free transfer in this summer, rather than pay 20-30 million for him in the January window, because it did come out in the press reportedly the other day that reportedly it come out in the press reportedly the other day that he'd been given permission to leave Arsenal in the January window, and he could be available for around 20-30 million pound. Could Mesut Ozil? He said he could be available for around 20-30 million pound. Mesut Ozil. And reports were coming out from Spain. Well, a couple of weeks ago, that reportedly, Mesut Ozil had reportedly agreed a contract to join Barcelona. He said he agreed to join Barcelona, and he even confirmed that Ozil's agent had been in negotiations, with Barcelona. But Arsene Wenger had basically said he hadn't agreed to join Barcelona, and also Arsene Wenger said he made it clear a couple of weeks ago regarding Sanchez and Ozil are both coming to end of the deals, that they will not be sold in the January window, and he feels they're confident that they will see how their deals. It did say also, as part of the article with Ozil, it did say that Sanchez will leave the Emirates. He will leave the Emirates, as we all know. But saying about Ozil, Messi basically doesn't want Mesut Ozil at Barcelona. He said he would prefer Philippe Coutinho at Barcelona rather than Mesut Ozil. Rather than Mesut Ozil. But I think, Mesut Ozil would be fantastic Manchester United. Jose Mourinho classifies him good number 10. Jose Mourinho's worked with Mesut Ozil in the past. He's worked with Mesut Ozil in the past as Jose Mourinho. They had 3 fantastic years together. Also experienced of being in Germany, for 5 years as well. Mesut Ozil, we know it did confirm, the contract talks had stalled for quite a while, but it looks like recently there has been more further negotiations of a contract, and presumably, according to what he said in the press, he's close to agreeing a new deal. So that's a disappointment for us as well. And Arsenal paid £42 million for him from Real Madrid back in 2013, and this is his 5th season now with Arsenal, as we all know. And reportedly, he's also been demanding a high wage increase of over £300,000, as well as Mesut Ozil. And he's got a record of assist, especially since he's come to the Premier League. As a player as well, but reportedly it's allegedly. I don't think it's full evidence that he's close to agreeing a new deal as yet. But if he does sign this new deal, I think it could be either another 3-year deal or a 4-year deal with Arsenal. But as we all know, basically Arsenal are identifying players. It says now Arsenal reportedly are closing in on a deal, for Leon Goretzka, on a free transfer. As I said, but basically, as I'm saying, Arsenal have also, got Alexis Sanchez coming to an end of his deal, and Arsenal have been trying to identify players soon. But to be fair, according to what Arsenal basically said, you've got Mesut Ozil, even though he's coming to an end of his deal, he's been playing majority of the games this season, as well as Alexis Sanchez has been playing the majority of the games this season for Arsenal as well. But Arsenal still got, there's been speculation and rumours that Theo Walcott could still leave Arsenal. He hasn't played much this season, but he's got long on his contract. Same with Olivier Giroud at Arsenal. He's a player that's been mentioned who could leave Arsenal as well. But we know another player, Alexis Sanchez, is coming to the end of his deal. I think at least one of them will leave Arsenal in the January window. Sanchez has been mentioned, quite a lot of times, in the press. And I think, Manchester City have been, heavily, linked with Alexis Sanchez, as we all know. Has been heavily into Sanchez. I think, Sanchez is keen on reuniting with Pep Guardiola after they were fantastic together at Barcelona. Arsenal paid £35 million for Sanchez, from Barcelona, and this is his 4th season now with Arsenal. He's made about 100 and odd appearances in Premier League, scored 50 odd goals. Scored about 45, 46 goals with his right foot, so that's very, very good for Sanchez. But his versatility is very, very good. His work rate is very, very good. Is Alexis Sanchez as well. And he's won 3 FA Cups in 4 seasons of Arsenal, but he did admit he wants Champions League football. This is the first time in 2 decades Arsenal have not had Champions League football. To be fair, I do think they'll I think they've got a great chance of winning the Europa League this season, and then getting Champions League qualification back. But Sanchez wants Champions League football, so presumably I think Sanchez will definitely go. As I said, he admitted this back in the August window. There's also been Paris Saint-Germain interested in him, but I said Paris Saint-Germain basically have to sell, before they can currently buy, considering the amount of money spent on Neymar, 198 million, structuring the deal also for Mbappe. I do think Sanchez is going to go, and these teams that are capable of paying £20-30 million for him in January, because that's what he could be available for. And there's been a lot of teams interested. Arsenal could have cashed £50-60 million in for him back in the August window, but due to Arsenal couldn't find a replacement, a deal never materialised. But talking, about City, it did say the other day in the press that City are prepared to put a big offer out for Sanchez in January. He did say before that City could prepare to wait until he sees out his contract, and get him on a free in the summer, Alexis Sanchez. It's also reportedly that he's been demanding a higher wage increase as well, as a Alexis Sanchez as well. But City are still looking to add depth and character into their squad. They've got Aguero in there, Sterling, Gabriel Jesus. You've got a lot of class in there. And Pep Guardiola spent a lot of money in his Manchester City squad. Pep Guardiola, very, very good manager, has also got a good pedigree. He proved it with Barcelona. And as I'm saying, Sanchez was good at Barcelona. He was fantastic in his last season there, scored 21 goals. Made his international debut in 2006 as well. Did Alexis Sanchez as well. And his work rate is good. His ball control is very, very good. He penetrates himself well. He was also experienced of being in Italy, where with underneath as well. Alexis Sanchez, and also used to play River Plate and Coca-Cola as well. But I do think Sanchez will definitely go. In my opinion. So obviously Arsenal have been dead for players. It still could have had interest in Lamar, as I said. Drax has been on the radar. Also to Nabil Fekir. Some Arsenal fans think he'd be a fantastic replacement for Alexis Sanchez as well. But we will see what happens as well. We will see what happens. With that. We have got the Manchester United, Manchester City preview coming up. Don't forget, guys. So be there to watch my preview for this game on Sunday. Big massive game on a Sunday for Manchester United. But yeah, basically, as I said about United, we have to sell before we can buy into the club, because there's Darmian who could go. There's Luke Shaw who could still potentially go, even though Jose Mourinho's mind may change a little bit due to his performance in the Champions League on midweek. But Danny Rose is potentially still on our agenda. Alex Sandro's now potentially on our agenda, at that left back position as well. But he's been mostly heavily linked with a move to Stamford Bridge as Alex Sandro. But he has admitted, as Alex Sandro, he wants to leave. Juventus, I think, in reality, Juventus has accepted that he doesn't want to be with Juventus anymore, and he could have come and experienced the Premier League, could Alex Sandro as well. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe to my channel, as always, take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye.